There's a stranger in my bed. There's a pounding in my head. There's a lover around the room. There's the flamingos in the pool. I feel like a mini bar. DJs pass out in the yard. Barbies on the barbecue. There's a hickey or bruise. Pictures of last night. Turn it up all night. I'm screwed. Oh well. It's a black dog blue. And I'm pretty sure it grew. Damn! Last Friday night, yeah, we danced on tabletops. And we took too many shots. We kissed, but I forgot. Last Friday night, yeah, we made some pretty cards. When you kicked out of the bar, so we hit the bully yard. Last Friday night.
What things dance on your mind when you hear the word India? Tag along with our hosts as we inspire and inform you on some tricky questions. But first, we'd like to introduce our lovely and absolutely stunning hostesses here on the Good Girls podcast. First off, our cuisine specialist.
Hello and welcome to your podcast. I'm Emilia Edholm, one of the lovely hostesses on this podcast. I hope you will really come to like this unique podcast. If so, you can always like and subscribe for next episode.
Well, what an introduction! But there's not just one hostess, so make some noise for our up-and-coming llama.
Hi and welcome to your new favorite podcast. I am Lova Rydman and today I will be one of your hostesses guiding you through the facts on India's culture. And let me tell you, this will be a wonderful experience, definitely worth listening to.
Whoosh, now there's two of them. But what if we had a third beautifully voiced hostess? Perhaps an expert in the field of Bollywood?
Hi and welcome to the best podcast of all time. My name is Svea Sandberg and I will be one of the hostesses today. I hope you will enjoy this podcast as much as I did.
What a cast! They all fit right into one of those Bollywood movies. But wait, I hear there's a fourth hostess, the one fluent in English. Well, it is yours truly, Linnéa Edvardsson. And let me tell you, this episode is going to be one worth listening to. So grab your snacks and sit back as we explore the culture of this massive nation. We'll start by sharing our own personal reflections and then dive deeper into the facts and diverse beliefs that make India a truly unforgettable country. So, when you guys think of India, what comes to mind?
When I hear India, one of the first things that comes to mind is Ganges. If you don't know what Ganges is, let me summarize it for you. Ganges is the holy river that flows through from the Himalayas through India. It's believed to bring those who bathe in this water closer to God. The holy belief around this river is based in different religions, showing truly how different cultures come together in this place.
Well, since you mentioned it, the first thing that comes to mind are different types of religions present here. Like Hinduism, Sikhism and a lot of other ones. All with many gods that flourish in India. These religions play a big part in their culture and architecture, from what I can see.
I think the money and success in India is quite a rising star when it comes to their economy. They're quite an prosperous country, having both a large capital and the largest population for any countries at this earth.
To be honest, the third thing I thought of was T-Series, the currently second most subscribed channel with 286 million subscribers on YouTube. Originally a company founded back in '83, this channel surpassed the likes of PewDiePie back in 2019. Unlike other channels who speak English to reach as wide of an audience as possible, T-Series speaks Hindi and is basically only known in India.
For me, scammers come to mind. This is because India is known for their big scam companies who love to steal America's money through fake phone calls. Personally, I think it's quite pathetic. They target older people and get aggressive when the nice old lady on the other side of the phone doesn't want to give her credit card information.
Yeah, we can all agree that scamming is not an honorable job.
Yeah.
Yeah, spices also come to my mind. After all, India is known for their use of various types of spices. I have personal experience with some of their spices dishes too. Some time ago, I tried chicken tikka masala and I thought it was very tasty.
Personally, I'm not too fond of Indian cuisine. I can't handle the spice, but butter chicken was quite a nice one. I also tried biryani, but that one just didn't sit right with my taste buds. Neither of these cuisines made the top 100.
Oh, I also tried butter chicken, and it was kind of good. Maybe not the best food, but I liked it. On a side note though, it feels like almost all Indian food is spicy.
I get why you think so. You see, the food commonly seen and eaten in India can be very spicy, but also very sweet. Having various types of spices in their food is a staple of Indian cuisine. They have a wide array of spices growing within their borders, which explains the frequent use of them in cuisine. Some commonly used spices in India are curry, ginger, cumin, cinnamon, black pepper, chili pepper, and saffron, all enhancing the flavor of the dishes. These spices bring a lot to the experience you'd have while eating them. On the topic of dishes and spices, let's go over some examples of popular Indian dishes eaten in India that are riddled with spices.
So, there's biryani, a flavorless rice dish with herbs, spices and meat, such as chicken, lamb or goat. If you're vegetarian, the meat in biryani can be replaced with vegetables.
Tandoori chicken is also a popular pick, being a dish made of chicken marinated in yogurt and spices, later roasted in a tandoori oven until crispy on the outside.
Butter chicken, a tomato-based curry with marinated pieces of chicken in a Cuisin's blend of spices, butter, cream and tomato sauce. Butter chicken is an absolutely crowd pleaser.
But Indians don't just stop at having a main dish with their meat. A common occurrence is eating side dishes along with the main course. Indians have a large variety of side dishes, all with their own unique tastes and traits. Some examples of Indian side dishes would include
Chutney, a delicious condiment, which comes to the following flavors: mint, coriander, tamarind, mango, with an additional choice of being sweet, sour, or spicy. It's quite delicious and serves as a perfect complement to any dish because of the variety of flavors.
Another one would be raita, a yogurt-based side dish served as a complementary condiment. The side dish includes finely chopped vegetables like onion, tomato, cucumber, all seasoned with delicious spices.
So, to summarize, Indian cuisine is very spicy and makes use a lot of different spices. How does it actually compare to Swedish food?
For a clearer understanding of the differences between our cuisine, let's take a small repeater. Indian food is known for its bold, rich and complex flavors. Common spices included in Indian food as previously mentioned, cumin, turmeric, coriander and garam masala. Indian dishes often combine multiple spices to create layers of taste. Indian food also uses a lot of legumes, rice and flatbreads, like naan and roti. Dishes often include rich curries, lentils and various chutneys or nuts.
To compare, Swedish food tends to have milder flavors with a focus on fresh herbs like dill and parsley. Traditional Swedish dishes often use less spice to emphasize natural flavors. It also focuses more on potatoes, meat and dairy. Pickled and preserved foods are also common due to Swedish colder climate.
But ingredients don't make up all of Indians and Sweden's cuisine. Cooking methods are a great tool to help achieve flavorous dishes, and this technique also varies in between the countries. Indian food commonly involves slow cooking, frying and marinating. Dishes like butter chicken or biryani require a mix of techniques.
For comparison, Swedish food focuses more on boiling, baking and pickling. Traditional methods like curing fish are also quite common. Some popular dishes in Sweden include meatballs, köttbullar, pickled herring, sill and tomato dishes like Janssons frestelser.
Cultural difference also plays a part in the outcome of their cuisine. Indian cuisine is often deeply rooted in traditions, festivals and family gatherings. Spices are chosen not only for flavor but also for their medicinal properties, while Sweden's cuisine is influenced by seasonal ingredients and traditions like midsummer.
Our desserts are also varied but share some properties that one might think. Indian desserts are often sweet like gulab, jamun and barfi. Swedish desserts tend to be variation between very and little sweet and more pastry-based, with desserts as kanelbullar and prinsesstårta.
But have you ever wondered why Indians don't eat beef? They seem to like mixing all types of food together, except for cow meat.
Well, in India, cows are only animal protected by the law, which means you can't kill them. The reason to their sacred status is based in religions, as you might have already known. In most religions, the cow is holy and shan't be killed nor consumed. In India, there is over 1 billion people who work together to take care of their 2 million cows.
However, the cows aren't just useless souvenirs. The cows do a lot of the work machines would usually do on a farm. Cows are also very good for these farmers use as a substitute for machines, since the sheep give you milk and don't need repairs. Machines are also ineffective during and after periods of rain, which a cow is not.
Yeah, but Indians don't just use them for farming tools. They really care about their cows and regularly wash and decorate them. 2 times a year, a celebration reminiscent of America's Thanksgiving. It's held in honor of their cows.
Rich people even pay to have all the sick cows taken care of. However, to justify Indians spending over 292 million Swedish crowns on the protection of cows, they compare cows to their equivalent of cats and dogs. Mind you, they still spend over 420 million Swedish crowns on other pets, and over 80 million people live in extreme poverty there. That's 8 times Sweden's population, all living in extremely poor conditions.
While on the topic of animals and comparing Sweden with India, let's go over the difference between the wildlife, shall we?
Yeah, the animals of India and Sweden are quite varied. This is due to the fact that our weather and environment are very different from each other. Different animals are adapted to their specific climate and would not survive in other countries' climates. India's weather is much warmer, and therefore our Swedish animals with thick winter fur wouldn't be able to survive there. Same goes for India's tropical wildlife, who would not be able to cope with Sweden's cold and harsh weather.
Name a few common or well-known animals in India. Animals like the king cobra, Indian antelope, also commonly referred to as the Indian black buck, and the Bengal tiger. India's natural animal would make the list.
To compare, Swedish animals are much tamer and calmer, with us having deer, rabbits and small birds like a crow and great tit as the most prevalent or common animals seen in the great outdoors. Along with these animals, the moose is our unofficial national animal. Oh, did you guys know there's a term used to compare each country's biggest and most dangerous animals? Yeah, the term Big Five can be used if one is looking to compare these types of animals. The Big Five when it comes to India refers to its most ambitious and largest animals. The one-horned rhinos, Asian elephants, leopards, Asiatic lions and Royal Bengal tigers.
Oh yeah, I've heard it before. In Sweden only predators take the top 5, those being bears, wolverines, golden eagles, lynx and wolves. In Sweden most of the animals mentioned as the Big Five are counted among the large predators too.
I mean, the Big Five of both countries are very powerful animals, but they're also very different from each other because, as previously mentioned, they are adapted to different climates. The reason as to why India's animals can survive in Sweden is not just due to the temperatures being different, but also a drastically different landscape, nature and livestock to feed on. Neither do we have their preferred prey. All of this combined with the fact that our country is too cold, a leopard wouldn't survive in the wild up here.
Both countries' animals are dangerous and powerful, but India's wildlife takes the lead, since they have poisonous animals like the king cobra roaming around. All of the animals have some impressive sizes, and while boasting fearless and sometimes outright aggressive natures. Meanwhile, Sweden's animals are much more shy and not as dangerous. They prefer to stay clear of cities and humans in general.
Yeah, an example proving how much dangerous Indian animals are than ours is that the Swedish brown bear only injures one person a year in Sweden, with the last death by a bear occurring back in 1902, while in India snake bites kill 5 to 60,000 people a year.
What a morbid fact. I can't imagine how it would be living in conditions like those, where your friends just drop left and right. It also explains why the average expectancy is only 67 years.
I mean, snakes might be a leading contributor to such a life expectancy, but it's not just one type of snake causing all of this. India has a really diverse nature, and as we previously mentioned, an animal is adapted to their own climate, can't survive in others.
To go over the variation of nature found in India, let's go over the facts. India has all nature types except for taiga and tundra. In the north, by the city named Dankar, elevation rises to 5 kilometers above sea level. Dankar is situated in the Himalayas, the mountain chain gloating some of the tallest mountains on this planet. In the east, large plains and farmland give food to their people, while the west deserts make land to the less fortunate part of the population, who has to deal with the sandstorms and dangerous wildlife, like the desert snakes. And finally, South India has a lot of rain, forests and tropical rainforests, along with farmland and big cities like Bangalore.
The nature in India is already as diverse as it can get, but when you compare the difference between the south, north, west and east part of India and Sweden, it's striking difference in nature can be seen.
For comparison, Sweden is missing a lot of these key features, especially when it comes to having scorching hot landscapes like India's deserts. Sweden is a colder country since it's situated in the north part of the hemisphere, which naturally makes our climate and nature types colder.
To compare the different parts of the countries, northern Sweden is sparsely populated, made up of mostly snow and mountains. Our east coast has a lot of villages, islands and lakes, along with a temperate climate, making home to a humbler part of Sweden's population. The west is, on the contrary, less populated, and a chain of mountains called Skanderna separates Sweden from Norway. Skanderna serves a natural border.
Okay, so to summarize this comparison, India has a more varied climate with way warmer temperatures and lots of extreme weather. Sweden has a less varied climate with overall colder temperatures and no deserts nor tropical rainforests, which is something India has. The countries are also located on 2 different parts of the hemisphere. One is a tad bit south of the equator and the other one being far up north. This being the reason to the striking difference in temperatures between the countries.
While on the topic of the nature and the different climates in the countries, due to this rich variation in sensory in India, the weather varies a lot depending on where you are. In the north, the temperature sits around 15 degrees in January and 30 to 40 degrees in May. Depending on where one might find himself in the south, the difference between seasons is smaller, with an average temperature of 26 to 35 degrees all year round.
But we can't talk about the weather without mentioning the unique weather phenomenon called a monsoon. A monsoon is a seasonally returning weather event, which creates dry and wet periods with the help of air pressure and the Indian Ocean. South India has a pronounced monsoon climate. After dry and hot spring in April to May, the humid southwest monsoon usually comes during the summer months in June-September. The humid monsoon brings heavy rainfall and can mainly be observed in eastern and southern India.
By contrast, Sweden doesn't have a monsoon. We in Sweden have more of the same climate in the whole country and clear 4 seasons where temperature differences are big from one season to another. During a normal Swedish summer, the temperatures rise to at least 25 degrees, generally being above that in the southern parts. Compared to the parts of India, this would be a very mild summer.
Oh, and the Swedish winter, unlike summer, it's quite cold, and the temperatures in the south hover over around 0 degrees Celsius, while the temperature in the north can drop to minus 20 degrees or even lower. During Swedish winter, snow is a common occurrence, something it often seen in most of India.
For a final comparison, India has more extreme weather conditions like the monsoon and tropical climate. Rain is also very common during the summer rain period, unlike Sweden where the summers are drier. We in Sweden have a milder climate with not as high temperatures as India during the summer.
So, put simply, due to our striking difference in climate, our weather is also very different. As previously mentioned, India is a culturally diverse country which also has a lot of different types of nature. All of this makes way for some beautiful and unique religious places. Most of these places serve as a popular tourist attractions, right?
Yes, indeed. India, a land of vibrant culture and breathtaking landscapes, has a large variation of iconic tourist attractions. From ancient wonders to spiritual sanctuaries, this tourist destination offers a glimpse into the country's rich history and diverse heritage. Let's name a few of India's most popular tourist destinations.
The most popular one has to be the Taj Mahal. It's a beautiful marble tomb and mosque meant for the wife of the 5th Emperor Shah Jahan. The impressive structure was commissioned to be built back in 1631 and now serves as a popular tourist attraction and significant landmark. The Taj Mahal is a staple of Indian culture. It's considered one of the most beautiful buildings have made and certainly lives up to it.
Personally, the Golden Temple comes to mind. It's another well-known landmark and the most significant shrine in Sikhism. The temple is open to all and was the center of Singh Sabha movement back in 1883. It was first constructed and completed year 1577, but after getting destroyed a few times, it was finally rebuilt with copper, marble and gold leaf in the 1800s.
Raigat is a historic memorial located in New Delhi, India, along the banks of the Yamuna River. It is a significant site that honors India's rich heritage and serves as a place of reflection and respect. The memorial features a simple yet elegant black marble platform surrounded by beautifully landscaped gardens. This is the first of many memorials built in Raigat, this one being dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi. But perhaps you wonder who he is.
Well, Mahatma Gandhi was born on the 2nd of October 1869 and grew up to be a political, ethnicist, anti-colonial, nationalist and lawyer in India. He was the man behind a series of non-violent protests that greatly contributed to India's independence back in 1947.
Oh, but that isn't all. He also fought for Indians' civil rights in South Africa in 1893 for a total of 21 years. Gandhi wasn't the originator of the principle of non-violence, but he was the first to apply it on such a large scale, inspiring many to the new way of life.
However, his life came to an end shortly after making India independent. On January 30th, 1948, he was shot 3 times in the chest by the Hindu nationalist Nathuram Godse. Godse had links to the Hindu Mahaska. He was later sentenced to death by hanging along with one of his conspirators for this heinous act. The 6 others involved in the assassination got life in prison.
On the topic of famous and impactful people in India, Bengali Venkaya made ground for the current design of the Indian flag. The flag made by himself later got redesigned by Mahatma Gandhi himself, and the final current version was designed by Hindi Tiabi.
While its design evolved over time, the symbolism behind the final version didn't change all too much compared to the first versions. The Indian national flag is a powerful emblem, primarily defined by its 3 distinct horizontal bands of color. However, these colors are not just decorative. Each color has a meaning and carries a symbolic weight, representing the core values and aspirations of the nation. While the central Ashoka chakra, or wheel, also holds considerable significance and deserves its own segment, we'll begin by focusing on the meaning of the flag's 3 primary colors.
The very top part of the Indian flag is a distinctive orange or saffron color, representing the courage and strength of the country and their willingness to make sacrifices for the good of their people. It also represents sacrifice, courage, and the selfless service to the nation. Along with all of this is also associated with spiritualism and the dedication of religious leaders to their country.
The middle part of the flag is a pure white, representing the truth, with the Dharmakaya, which are root, peace, and purity. With it represents honesty, sincerity, and the path of peace that the nation should strive to follow.
Green, the last bottom and final part of the Indian flag, represents Indians' faith and prosperity brought onto them, but also their unique culture achieved from this devotion. It also represents the growth and fertility of the land and ability to cultivate their fields to feed their country.
Okay, now let's talk about something else. The listeners want something more interesting than the flag. How about the festivals and holidays, yeah?
Oh, for sure. Indian festivals are often rich in symbolism, with love, equality, and religious significance taking center stage. India is a land of diverse cultures and religions. This richness of different cultures is reflected in its numerous festivals and holidays. These celebrations are deeply rooted in tradition, mythology, and the changing seasons. On top of this, they play a significant role in the social and cultural fabric of the country. There's a large variety of different festivals, but let's keep to the biggest and most celebrated ones.
Diwali, the Hindu festivals of lights, is a popular one. The variants of Diwali being celebrated in other India religions, such as Yasin and Sikhism. It symbolizes the spiritual victory of Dharma over Dharma, light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance.
There's also the festival of color, Holi. Holi is a major Hindu festival celebrated as a festival of colors, love, equality, and spring. During Holi, people joyfully throw color powders and water at each other, creating a vibrant and lively atmosphere. Along with all the festives, it's a time for forgiveness, friendship, and celebration. It celebrated the divine love of Radha and Krishna along with the triumph of good over evil.
Along with these, Indians also celebrate Christmas and national holidays like Independence Day and Republic Day. Indian festivals are more than just celebrations. They are expressions of cultural identity, social cohesion, and spiritual beliefs. They offer a glimpse into the rich tapestry of India's heritage and diversity present in their various religions.
Festivals and holidays are important culture and social events, but they differ significantly between countries like Sweden and India. This is due to their unique traditions, histories, and religious practices.
that all influence how and when their festivals are celebrated. While we're at it, let's compare the ways of celebrations between our countries.
Well, for starters, in Sweden, holidays are generally tied to Christian traditions. For example, Christmas and Easter are celebrating with family gatherings, festive meals and church services. However, Sweden is a free country with a society largely made up of the atheists, and many of the festivals are more about socializing and enjoying time with friends and family rather than religious practices.
Sweden has some iconic holidays like Midsummer, which celebrates the summer solstice and is centered around Swedish folklore and nature. It is a festive occasion with dancing, eating and singing. Swedish festivals often emphasize simplicity, nature and togetherness. For instance, at Midsummer, Swedes gather to decorate the pole, sing traditional songs and share food, typically in outdoor settings. Christmas celebrations focus on cozy family gatherings, with the famous Swedish julbord feast being eaten after the presents are opened.
Indian festivals, on the other hand, tend to be larger, more vibrant, and can include elaborate decorations, large public events, and street processions. Diwali, for example, involves lighting millions of lamps to symbolize the victory of light over darkness. The festivals are often marked by colorful displays, fireworks, sweets, and communal prayers. Events like Ganesh Chaturthi, Holi, and Durga Puja feature grand festivities that involve public participation and a communal sense of celebration.
While Swedish holidays like Christmas and Easter are celebrated for a few days, Indian festivals can last much longer. Diwali, for example, lasts for 5 days, with each day having its own significance and rituals. Navaratri, dedicated to the worship of goddess Durga, spans a total of 9 days.
To summarize, in Sweden, festivals generally have more private or family-oriented atmosphere. People celebrate in small groups or within their communities. Midsummer, however, is one of the few festivals that sees larger public celebrations. In India, on the other hand, public celebrations are a key feature of most festivals. The countries, cities, and towns are often adorned with decorations during major festivals, and there are numerous processions and public events where people from different communities and religions come together to celebrate.
While festivals and holidays in both Sweden and India are important expression of culture and community, they differ greatly in terms of religious significance, scale, and social context. Sweden's festivals often focus on nature, simplicity, and family, while India's festivals are larger, more religiously diverse, and frequently marked by public displays and celebrations.
Just as festivals reflect deep cultural values, so too does the way people dress in different parts of India. It is important to show respect to Indians' culture, especially when it comes to your attire. You need to be modest and respectful to their customs when visiting, since they're a conservative country. Due to their very tapestry of religions, lots of customs are present.
So, in order to be as respectful as possible to the most amount of people, your clothing needs to be adjusted to the place you're in.
Yes, especially if you're in a religious place. Being modest and respecting that they have these rules in place is the key to respect their culture and be respected by them. Depending on where you are, you will have to follow their customs and adapt your clothing style to suit these established rules.
Oh, a tip to achieving this is to follow what the locals do. Depending on the place, you might need to cover all skin, hair, or take off your shoes. This custom to clothe yourself probably has its roots in religious beliefs, so be extra careful not to show skin when it's a religious place.
Another way of getting accepted into their culture is to wear traditional clothing. It's a great conversation starter, and wearing it the right way will earn you respect by the locals. But what exactly is traditional clothing in India? Well, clothes like sari and kurta pajama are modest and beautiful clothing you can use to fit in. Kurtis is another popular Indian apparel for women and stylish at that. Meant for casual wear, the kurtis comes in many forms and colors and make a nice addition to your daily wear in India.
On the topic of clothes, saris are for girls and can come in different forms and colors. This attire serves as a gorgeous traditional garment which can be worn anywhere. It's long and stylish dress for all women to skip. It can also serve as a traditional piece, being a family heirloom representing the family's rich history. Kurta pajama serves as a male equivalent of the stylish attire. These clothes make a nice addition to your wardrobe. They too come in many different colors and shapes.
Dhoti is also a piece of unstitched clothes made for ethnic wear in men's fashion, like the sari and kurta pajama. The dhoti can come in many colors and forms.
And finally, but not least, turbans, a headdress worn by Indian men. Each turban can be unique in a sense that they were usually based off wearers' current whereabouts, as in what region they found themselves in or origin where they are from.
Anyways, I did mention that we had a Bollywood expert among us, so let's give room for Svea to talk about the interesting film industry called Bollywood.
Some facts about Bollywood are that they make about 900 films each year, which is a lot. Most of their movies has lots of dances and songs and musical numbers, which is often the thing that makes Bollywood different from other film industries. On top of that, most Bollywood movies are played out in Hindi, a very popular language in India.
And while these unique elements define Bollywood style, they also played a big role in its growing international appeal. Bollywood is popular in India, being one of their most famous and successful film industries. But their films are not limited to just India, but quite the opposite. Since Bollywood films are dubbed in many different languages, so those fond of their musical numbers and stories can enjoy the films without knowing Hindi.
I mean, a lot of people enjoy watching Bollywood movies, but for many the action story is often too chaotic. Combined with the bad acting and copious amounts of harmful stereotypes present, this creates a large platform of haters. However, sometimes it's actually quite entertaining. The silly visuals can give quite a laugh. The constant playback of the same scene and just overall bad filming of the shots are comical, in a bad way.
Even though I don't enjoy watching Bollywood movies, I can find the effort they put into their elaborate musical numbers and impressive choreography. That is all after what Bollywood movies are known for. A lot of people, myself included, have this appreciation for the effort they put into producing this type of entertainment.
Same goes for me. I don't think the movies are all too bad, but it's definitely not my cup of tea. Something just feels off about them, and I don't enjoy that feeling at all. But they are getting their bag, so who am I to hate?
Phew, well, that about concludes our podcast. As always, we encourage you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when our next episode comes out. I hope that you, our dearest listener, has learned something useful and been inspired this episode. Using this newfound knowledge, make sure to do the right choices in your life. With that, our hostesses will say their final words.
We appreciate you listening to our wonderful podcast. However, this is the end, so goodbye for now.
Thanks for tuning in. Until your next episode, I wish you farewell. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe for next episode.
Thank you for listening to this amazing podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it.
And finally, I will bid you goodbye for now, and hope this podcast gets an A. Bye!
Bye!
Free!
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth moving in. Let my heart burst again. So this is the end. I'd rather have this moment. What do I owe them? Swept away, I'm stolen. Let the sky fall and it crumbles. We will stand tall, place it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall, place it all together. Let the sky fall.
Okay, a leopard is adapted to the safari. Something Sweden doesn't have. Neither do...
Gud vad du är
Det
värdefull.
går så dåligt. Tack så mycket, tack.
Great! Titt, vad är det för något?
Talgoxe.
Nu tror jag, nu kommer jag klara det på riktigt. To compare Sweden's animals are much tamer and calmer, with us having deer, rabbits and smaller birds like the crow and the grey tit.
Du kan inte. Du kan inte.
Jag kan visst. En gång till.
Sweden is a colder country since it's situated in the north part of the Hampshire, which naturally...
Hemisphere.
Hemisphere! Oj, vad är det?
Oh, north part of Hampshire.
Hampshire! Men det är väl typ... Jag vet inte vad det... Vad heter det då?
Hemisphere.
Daisy dudes, bikinis on top. Sun-kissed skin so hot, warm like a popsicle. California girls look undeniable. My fresh feet, we got it all locked. West Coast represent, but put your hands up. Six.
For comparison, Sweden is missing a lot of these key features.
Jag försökte styra upp den lite. My bad gang, jag råkade dismanna micken.
Nej men nu tappar jag min lock in här då.
Ja men du får faktiskt locka in nu.
Jag kan inte... Lås in nu.
Lås in.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.